Activation code required. Access granted. Warning. Evacuation sequence activated.
We're back. Welcome to the bunker.
All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. It is Wednesday night. Thank you for joining us for S-4 Paranormal Bunker here live in the Cascade Mountains. I've got Nikki Jacobs, Rick Persley, and John Wegleitner with me. Eric is sick tonight. That's why I took over the intro, and it sucked. So, friend, good luck. Friend, tonight our topic is basically current events and do they affect other realms. And I want to cover anything we can. I'm not going to give you the story how it started, but I will say it started with the bridge collapse. Wondering if that affects other realms, as well as local our politics with everything that's going on there. And then, as well as just anything going on in the world. Friend, didn't we just have another volcano go off?
I believe
a big one?
So.
Friend.
Yeah.
So, someone at the center of the earth is pissed off. Friend.
Old people.
They just lost their hot tub.
Regarding the bridge, you've got an ebb and flow issue going on regarding energy, which of course I didn't even think of that until just this very second when it was how you worded things, Cole. And so, I mean, yeah, we've got structural issue conditions across the United States with various issues, structural with bridges and things like that. Things that need repair that are not getting repaired. But all of that aside, and all the bullshit conspiracy theories aside regarding the bridge collapse.
Yeah.
There's an energy flow that happens, and I would assume that based on what I know of energy, that's going to cause some major tie-ups in that region regarding the shift and the energy flow. So, I mean, besides the commerce issue and the legal issues and life issues, of course, there's the life and death issue, but other worldly side issues, I would imagine there would be an energy flow issue that somehow is going to take effect. Just my take on that one.
Well, I'm going to start my own conspiracy theory on this, because, Mothman's already taken, so I think it's Ladybug Man. Friend, he did it.
God.
That fucker. Friend.
Oh, God.
Let's see if this takes off. John, put it on X.
Oh, God.
Get an AI to make you a picture of a guy in a ladybug costume, and yeah.
Done, I already got one.
Perfect. I don't know, Friend, we've got a lot of crap going on in our world.
Yeah, we really do right now.
And last week we talked about a spike in the paranormal that has been happening over the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Would you look at the shit that's been happening in the last 20 years? Friend, is it possible? And then you look at historically, like, when did Project Blue Book start?
Oh, good God.
You mean the original project?
40s.
Yeah. 40s. Right after
Yeah,
World War fucking II. Like,
well, the U.S. Okay, I don't care if I'm going to get in trouble for this or not. But basically, everyone believes it's 1942, 1947 time frame regarding government and ufology and ETs and all that stuff. Actually, if you have things that you've read, and that's how I'm going to state it right now, it goes back to the early 30s. It goes back to 1932, 1933, which is why I say it's 90 plus years. Everybody says, oh, it's 70. Bullshit. It's not 70 years. You're looking at a full 90 years, 10 years away from 100. So, you know.
But 32, 33, wouldn't that be right when Hitler started to gain traction?
32, 33, yes.
Mm-hmm. So there's a lot involved regarding the other side. There's a lot involved regarding a lot of crap happening across the globe. And a lot of cover-ups because nobody wanted that out there.
Yeah.
They didn't want to, quote-unquote, we didn't want to scare the population. Oh, bullshit. You didn't want anybody knowing anything you were doing, but that's a whole other subject. Anyway, but regarding the other side, yeah, you've got quite a lot of different issues that are brought up because of ufology and ETs and different governments, not just the U.S. government, but many different governments knowing information. Then you're dealing with CERN and how that affects, Switzerland's CERN, and other locations where CERN is at across the globe. There are issues going on because of that. Issues on the other side because they're screwing with other realms, other portals, vortexes, wormholes, all of that. So do your own research. Figure it out for yourself. You'll find absolutely amazing information that is true information, not conspiracy theory stuff. So,
are you trying to tell me that it's not safe to take a huge amount of energy and just blast it into the middle of the earth? Like, come on, Nikki.
What that's gonna do? Oh yeah, Mama Earth ain't gonna like that very much, is she? She'll have some kind of reaction for that. So yeah, it's just it makes things really interesting. You're looking at a lot of damage on the other side in many aspects. I can't imagine what the Fae have had to do, or the what we would call mer people have had to deal with. And oh my God, somebody's like, you gotta be kidding me. She's talking mer people. You know what? And if you're in my line of work, there's information you know. If you don't know it, start doing your own research. There's a lot of things that we don't know about our own oceans. We don't know a lot about the underground, let's just put it that way. The general public does not. So start doing your own research. It gets really interesting real fast, and you have to have an open mind, but you got to have critical thinking in your information. think of things scientifically, but also think of things with a critical mind and a critical eye. Just be aware. There's a lot of potential. I mean, there were at least 10 different things that I've got on my list tonight. Talked about a few of them already.
Well, I was just going to say, I think, by and large, if you were to stick somebody from, we'll just say, post-World War II into today's world and give them all the information that, just here it is, the Chinese, the North Koreans, coronavirus, the global warming,
computers,
any number of things.
Yeah.
Now, you tell them, now they just survived what they thought would be the war to end all wars, and you think they wouldn't be going, are we sure the apocalypse isn't happening and the 4 horsemen are right behind? They're coming, right? So,
funny enough, I've met them.
I'm sure they're lovely chaps, but I'd prefer not to meet all 4 for that matter. They fascinating on the TV show Supernatural, but I don't think so. I'll pass.
I've met the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. I could actually make that statement and claim. And very, what's the phrase I would call them? I gotta be careful because I'll get in trouble on the other side. I want to say Camille the right. Very enlightening, very, like, hands at a distance, type of gentleman. But, yeah, there's a couple of them you don't want to screw with me on.
But yeah, so that being said, you can imagine that we are by all, we're living in it. We all I think we would agree that it certainly doesn't look good. I mean, we've been through bad times, but I mean, I grew up in the 80s with nuclear war hanging over our heads. So did Nikki.
Yep. Yep.
But we didn't.
I don't remember being
scared or scared, but just worried. I guess scared is the wrong word because I'm old. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. But I'm worried for my kid. I'm worried for my grandkids.
Yeah.
Paula's kids and grandkids. I worry for them. I'm not worried about me. So, yeah, it's genuinely a little bit frightening, and John, for that matter, and Kimberly and all the other kids. I don't want to see anybody. I want to see this world go on for a long time, but it sure acts like it's wanting to go, put the revolver to its head and pretend it's like in the movie Deer Hunter. So they just keep pulling the trigger over and over again, and eventually that bullet's going to show up. So,
well, the planet's going to be around for a very, very, very long time.
Well, yeah, the planet will be here, but
the planet and we will be here. It's just a lot of things that are going to be coming are not going to be liked by a lot of people. But aside from that, regarding the other side, some of it will affect them, and it depends on what we do on this planet. I mean, ETs will not allow a Holocaust regarding nuclear weapons. We all know that one. I mean, they made that very apparent by shutting down nuclear missile silos. So there are a number of things that can be done that will be allowed because, they're humans and they're violent. Oh my God. I get tired of hearing that from the ETs, but can
they stop foreign governments from introducing pathogens into the
can they? Yes. Will they? No.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many ways that we can kill each other these days. So,
yeah. I mean, there's in the 90s there was talk of chemical weapons and all that stuff. Now you're looking at a completely different ballgame in some regards. But all of that, I mean, how that affects other realms, like the energy waves. One of the things that the ETs talked quite extensively about is the energy waves and how I want to call it a ripple in time. That's not what I mean, but ripples, how energy ripples and literally affects. So if you're on a planet and you've got, say, for example, sound waves will affect the other side if they're strong enough. It's just like an energy weapon being shot off and hitting its target. Well, you've got a ripple effect in that way as well. And my specific song. Anyway, so all of that comes into play. Whether you're on planet, off planet, out in space, wherever, makes life really rather interesting. And how we all play the game, so to speak, regarding life.
Right.
Yep.
I gotta get back into searching. I'm too slow. Fran, you guys got off on a whole different tangent by the time I found what I was looking for. You started talking about... No. But you started talking about mer people.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So, do you guys know why Ariel has 6 sisters?
No.
Because they represent the 7 seas. And this is actually... Yeah, so Ariel is the Red Sea, of course, because of her hair. Athena, being the oldest, is the Bering Sea. Alana is the Black Sea. Delta is the Mediterranean Sea. Aquata is the Coral Sea. Arista is the White Sea. And Adrena is the Caribbean Sea.
Do
you know what that makes their mom? The Dead Sea.
Sorry.
What?
Even respond. Oh my God.
I told that to Hunter, our son Hunter. You know what his only response was?
Mm-hmm.
Why isn't the Dead Sea one of the 7 seas? Fran, I didn't know how to answer that. I was just like, you don't even care that she's dead? That's harsh. Like, Fran. Okay. You were talking about energy and how it ripples.
Yes. I keep thinking of ripple in time.
Well, but it ripples, but it doesn't at the same time. That's the weird part.
Yeah.
Because physics doesn't allow it. Unless it's being viewed.
Happens.
Unless it's being viewed. If it's being viewed, it ripples. If it's not, it doesn't. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's... But I wonder if because of that we cause a lot of our own problems.
Yeah, we do.
Based on just paying attention to them.
Well, now that's an interesting
giving
concept.
them, yeah, like giving them, as the kids say, clout. For an,
well, the more you push into a subject, the more you research into a subject, the deeper you go. I mean, it's like a deep rabbit hole. The further you press into it, the deeper it gets.
And you know, like, thinking of what, like, Rick was saying with COVID, applying that COVID to it, you think about it, it got brought up as we started getting worse and worse diseases over the few years before.
Yeah.
Like, we ended up with bird flu, we ended up with MRSA, all these little outbreaks that happened. And everyone started researching more. Everyone started doing more research on it. Everyone started taking better care to watch what you're doing. And all of a sudden it blew up. And we got COVID. And then it took about 3 years. And everyone got so fucking tired of it. Everyone started just ignoring everything. Like, fuck COVID. And then it went away.
Saying fuck COVID, they were saying fuck the government.
Well, no, but it wasn't just the government. They were tired of the rules too, but not just the rules that the government enforced. But it wasn't just the rules that the government enforced. It was the rules that, like, a lot of people went back to ignoring basic hygiene again.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing walking into a bathroom in a public, like, store. How many people, once again, do not wash their frickin' hands?
No, well, to be honest, I don't think that ever changed. I lived in Everett, and they were a little bit like at Fred Meyer and Safeway. They were a little bit like authoritarian about it in the beginning. They had people outside the doors and everything. But then people just started walking by that just didn't care. They didn't care. Without masks, without anything else, they go in and they just proceed to check out. And we can't check you out. And they just raise holy hell and they'd be let through. And so it just became a thing. So you'd have half the store. It wasn't 2 months in. And I was still wearing a mask and gloves and everything else. And there were half the store in Fred Meyer was without mask or anything else. So.
Oh man, not at ours.
It was.
They wouldn't even let you in.
I was over by Casino Road, so it's a little bit different crowd over there. So.
That's an understatement.
It's
here in Mount Vernon, everyone just wore them wrong. A mask doesn't really do anything if you don't put it over your nose or your mouth.
There were people wearing milk fountain jugs.
So me and Kayla actually did see, before it really started, before the mandates came, we saw someone in a hazmat suit.
Really?
Yeah, just shopping.
Yeah.
And
well, you know what? He wasn't wrong.
No. But it was just weird to see at that point, and then 2 weeks later it made sense.
Well, see, I made the mistake of looking at it like the SARS outbreak from back in, I guess it was the mid-2000s-ish.
Yeah.
And it got in Canada, but it was bigger there, but it never really got into the United States too much. And so I was of the opinion, okay, these plagues are manufactured fear things. This is to make movies and everything else. And we're never going to have another plague like that. So, and of course, then again, we roll around to 2020, and I remember we had the first case in the United States was there in Everett.
Yeah.
And Paul we're watching TV that afternoon. I was assembling an exercise bicycle of all things. And she said something about, this is it. They're here. It's here. It's going to be bad. And I'm like, oh, come on. They do this all the time. About a month later, basketball shut down, baseball shutting down, everything shut down. Then I knew it was serious when sports shut down. That's when I knew it was like, okay, we quit. This must be something big. So, I mean, Ebola got to the United States. Remember? Ebola got here.
Yeah, I remember that.
That woman,
Florida.
One of the doctors, they quarantined her. There was one that got to New York, and the world was going to come to an end. And
yep.
So it was. But yeah, the little COVID little virus showed up. It's like, okay, people cough. How bad could it be?
I was in and out of the hospitals at the time with my mom because my mom, they couldn't figure out what was wrong with my mom between the month of October through the month of March. So 2019 into 2020, every month my mom was in the hospital. And it was, each time was worse than the last. And each time, every single doctor was telling me, you're going to lose your mom. She is not going to survive this. And she's alive and well today. The worst one was January and March. In March they had the entire hospital quarantined, and they would not allow me to be in there.
Yeah.
So I was on the phone every day, many times a day, with different doctors. The head doctor, an immunologist, and the head University of Washington head, either immunologist or CDC. I can't remember what she was, but at this second. And yeah, I let them know about my mom's Alzheimer's and dementia and what she needed, and they were very appreciative. I mean, I even had nurses that would call me when they could to let me know about different information, because I couldn't be there, and they were trying to avoid from putting her on respiratory at the time. So, I mean, that was the beginning of when they locked the hospitals down.
Right.
I think the hardest part for us was my dad telling me that one of his best friends, that a guy that I looked up to and loved, friend, died in the hospital alone with Dad looking in the window.
Yeah.
Friend, because no one was allowed in the room, and number
I had
one.
friends that went through that. Yeah.
Yeah, and like
my best friends in my neighborhood growing up, brothers of mine, their dad was my second dad. I love that man. Sometimes better than I love my own dad. And he got Parkinson's disease, and so he worked out at Dow Chemical, and we're convinced there was something out there that gave that to him, that made it happen. But anyway, he went into a nursing home for care, and his sons, I was already up here at the time, but his sons, COVID happened, and his sons could not go to see him. They would not there was no windows to go look into. He died. They did not see him before he died for like a month. So it was almost right at a month on the nose that they had not been allowed in, and then he died. And then they couldn't get the body for a while. So they had
3 months.
Yep. So
that's what I was told when I had. Sorry.
Yeah, that's the end of the story. That's Nikki. Yeah. Yeah.
Go
ahead.
Well, what I found out regarding my mom's doing all the legal stuff for my mom, and for whenever she passes, they told me that if she has COVID, they will keep the body, the morgues. The morgues were overfilled in Washington State.
Yeah.
And they would keep the body for up to 3, possibly 4 months at the most. And after that, you're basically out of luck to get your family member back. And now it's like, well, the attitude now is, well, if it's unlikely that it'll be COVID, but if it is, the morgues aren't as packed as they once were. It might be a month and a half at most. That was I think like 4 or 5 months ago when I last checked in, and what they were telling me back then, just to give me an update. It was really fascinating how the dead were being handled, or mishandled, depending upon what how you wanted to look at it. But yeah, I mean, and everything was being, no matter what the death was, it was being classified as complications due to COVID.
Yeah.
Not everything was complications due to COVID. And so that's where I take issue with that kind of stuff. However, the other side had such an influx of, I mean, you're looking at more people than was in 9/11 that had died.
Yeah.
So you had such an influx of dead coming to the other side, and how many of them want to immediately return? How many of them want to spend some time on the other side and relearning?
Well, and Nikki, 9/11 is underselling it. We surpassed World War II numbers.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted something with a bit of a punch in when I was saying it, but I completely forgot about World War II numbers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's big. Big numbers.
I don't know, like, and that also, like, makes me wonder, like, 'cause, like, we have so many different realms that we constantly talk about.
Yeah.
Like the Fae, the cryptids.
That's actually what I was going to mention, Cole, was the Sasquatch. You made me both you and Rick made me remember that Sasquatch never checked on me when I had COVID. Or when I was horribly, horribly ill, they were nowhere around. But a month before I got COVID and about 2 months after I got COVID, they came back and checked on me. And I was like, that impressed me. It was a big deal.
I wonder if it's because it was contractable to them.
See, that's what I was wondering.
Because, like, you got to think of the Bronx Zoo. The lions. They got it.
Yeah, they did.
Fucking lions sneezing all over each other. What the fuck? But maybe they should wear a mask. But I want to see the zoologist that puts a fucking mask on a lion. Like, I want to shake that motherfucker's hand.
Not only that, but what about the you would have thought that the gorillas,
right?
The gorillas and other monkeys, there's a specific kind of monkey, and I can't think of the name of it right now, but anyway, you would have thought that they would have been susceptible too.
Well, supposedly that as soon as they saw symptoms in one of the zoos, every animal was put into isolation.
Quarantined.
Yeah. So
even the elephants, if I remember right, at Seattle.
Yeah, and
the
so
Seattle Zoo.
with them doing that, the other thing is how many zoos didn't report it.
Yeah.
And I mean,
that's a good point.
They're already a zoo. Like,
yeah,
they're not the greatest at the whole animal care thing.
Who's going to be? I mean, are they required to report such things? I mean, I know they're.
I used to know somebody that worked at one on the East Coast, Southern East Coast, but East Coast, and yeah, they are.
Okay.
They're required to report it to certain people.
Yeah.
Not to the public.
Correct. Certain authority members, they're required to report it to.
But if I remember right,
they don't have to.
If I remember right, what happened with the lions is the lions actually had live feeds.
Oh, that's right. I'd forgotten about that.
So people actually saw them getting sick.
Yeah.
Because we can all tell on a grainy, like, night vision shot that, you know, a lion's got a cough. Now, I'm not saying this, but during the day...
Have you ever watched those?
Have you ever seen? I don't know. How good are the cameras at public zoos? I haven't.
They're damn fucking good.
Are they? Okay.
Oh yeah, like they spend a lot of money on that system.
Depends on the zoo and what they can afford.
Yeah.
We can get 4K cameras at zoos, but we can't get 4K cameras outside of government installations with nuclear weapons or anything important. That's good.
Well, no, because a 4K, you got to remember too, okay, a 4K camera does not work with Windows 95.
Well, true.
Which all of our nuclear installations run off Windows 95.
Yeah, well, all of that's backwards. Shouldn't we do something better? I mean, shouldn't our nuclear installations be running on at least, I don't know, what's the best equivalent for a current Windows operating system in the early 2000s? It's not, what, XP? Wasn't XP a bad one?
XP was a bad one. Honestly, Windows 10 was the first okay one.
Oh, all right.
But the thing is, you can't shut down Windows 10.
No, I disagree, but that's okay. That's a personal opinion.
You can't shut down Windows 10. Do you know what I mean by that? You can't close that system.
Yeah.
It's constantly connected.
Yep.
Windows 95 can be used as a closed circuit system.
Oh. So it's the Battlestar Galactica thing where, the Cylons can't take over the... I understand.
Yes.
So, it can't be done from external sources. And this, okay, got it.
I mean, fuck, if I'm correct, I bet you Jim Creek probably isn't even using Windows 95. I'm pretty sure it's fucking using, like, DOS?
It's a Commodore 64. This is barely functional. It's like all it needs to do is just go, would you like to blow up the world? Why?
Yeah.
That's,
well, no, so Jim Creek is our radio system for all of the Pacific.
Oh, okay.
But I'm pretty sure they're still running off one of the original computer systems. I don't think they would have updated that.
Well, you know what? It's probably not a bad idea, considering, if it could be hacked. But then again, well, if they have their own electricity or like generators and everything else, then they'd be good to go. But if they're still running off our the provided power lines and everything like that, they're going to be screwed anyway, because they can shut down the grid, they'll shut down everything else.
Yeah, well, no, I don't think we have a military installation that doesn't have its own generators.
Well, or the EMP takes everything out, so...
Okay, so regarding tonight's stuff, that leads in, I mean, you're talking computer stuff, one of the subjects I was going to talk about was hackers. And I was just going to bring it up, but since we're talking about computer systems and stuff, over the years, there's been, you've got the Julian Assange and the Gary McKinnon and a number of others, and there's over 20, quote-unquote, famous hackers over many different years, well over 20. And people do your research on that. When you're dealing with hackers and getting into computer systems, no matter if it's government or if it's medical systems, big pharma to any other kind of conglomeration, corporation, all of that deals with everything is energy and frequency. All of that information, whether the hackers make it public or not, is a form of energy, and that plays into the other side as well, and in some regards, other realms. And for that matter, it also delves into some of the ET stuff, depending upon how far the hackers get. and what part of the systems the ETs are part of. So computer stuff gets real wonky, real interesting, and almost maligned in a lot of ways because we try to protect all of our stuff, but yet our technology keeps going forward, and yet, like you guys were talking about, we've got all this old tech that is closed system, which you have to have in order to maintain security, or at least some kind of security. And yet, here you've got hackers who are hacking into some of that supposedly closed system. So...
well... okay. I think I gotta explain this a little better. So, our nuclear facilities... every single nuclear facility that we have in the United States, including the subs and actual reactors, have two systems.
Yes.
Two sets of computers. One is based off whatever the newest technology is, and that is the area that can be hacked. None of the actual important shit that could hurt us is run off that. Friend, that hacks administrative. They can look at the logs. They can get the passcodes. They can do all that. They can never use the passcodes. That'll never happen. Friend, because we do still rely on the two-key system. Friend, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Friend, but it works. You know, it's like you get someone who's really into 80s fucking movies and they just break in. Friend, but actually do it right where John McClane doesn't show up. Friend, you know what I mean. I mean...
I'm sitting here laughing, guys.
Friend, like... but...
you really stop my man.
No, like, it would... they can hack into those systems. They can hack into our money systems all they fucking want. But that's because, honestly, the government realized it doesn't matter. Friend.
All that matters.
I think half the fuck... well, but I think half the time, the government actually lets them in. On a certain level.
Just to see if they can, what they can do.
Well, okay.
Well,
so
yeah.
You've got testers. You've got testers in the, what is it called? On the black market. And yeah, they'll find out who the next best, biggest hacker is, and they'll start testing them.
Friend,
I mean,
yeah.
that's been known for years and years and years.
Friend, until
So
one
they
group
find
fucked
out
up
who
the
I'm
entire
back.
system. Anonymous fucked up that entire system. Because they still are true to their name. Friend. Because even if you delve into the hacker's world, like the online world, no one actually knows who they are. They have been able to keep their fucking secrets.
Yeah.
So...
not all of them, though.
they're scary. But they're not at the same time, because they're not doing anything that, like, what do? They shut down Sony, they shut down Xbox they released medical records, but for the purpose of the consumer.
Yeah, but then you've got those that don't do that. I mean,
Yeah.
they do it. It's a rant. You know, there's those that are ransom attacks.
Yeah, absolutely.
All of that affects frequency and energy. So the frequency, try this again. The frequency around the individual and around the company and around, oh God, I lost my words. Basically the whole situation. It ends up, trying to figure out how to say this without it coming across as conspiracy theory, because I don't mean it as conspiracy theory. It significantly affects the frequency and the energy. It depends on what they're doing it for, too.
Well, have you guys ever done a Google check on your account?
Been a while.
Where you actually see how many times your name's been sold?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Oh, no. Never done that, but there's about 14 Rick Pursleys in the world, so
Friend,
it happen.
It doesn't help, because most of them, they get not only your name, but your date of birth, your email address, and your social. They get all 4 of them at the same time. So it's you they're going after. Friend. Fuck, one of them had my bank account information from 20 years ago, which I thought was hilarious, because that account closed 20 years ago. Friend, go ahead and do something with it. Friend, but, it's as long as you take... One of the
biggest companies backing me, so, if somebody starts fucking with my stuff, I got one of the biggest companies out of New York that will go in and deal with them.
Friend.
And haul their ass to prison. Actually caught someone, too, a number of years ago, right after I did that, so...
So did we.
Yeah, between the bank and the company out of New York. I can't think of the name of the company right now, but yeah, really saved my butt.
No, this person made the first mistake that we caught. So you remember the employment payment plan?
Oh God, that was a while back.
Well, it was during COVID, where they were giving employers money to pay their employees.
Oh!
They would give them loans.
Sorry, I thought you were talking. Yeah.
Okay, so Kayla had a business before COVID called Wigleitner Oddities.
Yeah.
Friend, all of a sudden, after about 2 years after we shut down that business, friend, a book of checks showed up at her mom's house for the company from a Bank of Montreal. Friend, so the guy actually restarted Kayla's business, turned it into a construction company, and had 50 employees on the roster. Friend, applied for that and had the money sent to that account. She got the check. She called the Bank of Montreal, checked on the account. There was $750,000 in the account.
Oh my God.
So she immediately told them to freeze the account, gave them all her information so that they knew she was who she was, and then she called the IRS and told them, hey, this, I didn't do this. Friend.
Good for her.
So the thing is, the guy and the girl were caught, and they lived in Tacoma.
Yeah.
Friend, everything they needed to get Kayla, they got off the fucking Facebook.
Oh, wow.
It was that easy. But that was before, now everything we own is two-factor authentication protected, friend, and through different items.
Yep.
Use random password generators for almost everything.
Yep.
And I've done that for years on mine because my phone carries all of our cards.
Yeah, see, absolutely everything I have has its own password, security codes, a whole kit and caboodle, because I don't play no frickin' games. When I became an advocate and I had somebody else's ex-husband take out 2 of my, because they were a computer guru in their field, in their financial field. They were known in the computer world for a very large global company. And because I was advocating for this woman, her ex-husband found out that I was a witness, and he basically screwed with, which is illegal to do in the United States, screw with a witness in a court case, and he took out 2 computers that I had. And after that, everything had double, triple, or quadruple passcodes to it.
It does make it annoying.
And nothing is the same password. Absolutely nothing.
Because, like, my Prime account is shared with all our kids. Yeah. And they will delete the, like, Prime Video and then reopen it. Like, re-download it onto their phone. And every time they do that, it sends me a notification for a 2-factor authentication. And I have to figure out who, like, okay,
who did it and
yeah.
why.
Yeah. Friend.
Yep, I get it.
I just wanted to watch a movie, okay?
Yeah, that's the thing. But when you did it 4 times in a row. So then I gotta figure out which one's the newest one. Like,
well, I actually refreshed the page a few times.
Yeah.
But I was just trying to watch the Muppets movie.
My kid is 32, so, you know.
Well, but like, no, but like even 90% of our accounts are shared with Kayla's mom.
Yeah, that's
because there's no point in both of us paying for it. You know? Oh, did you guys hear? Disney Plus now has Hulu on it.
Oh, I thought they bought Hulu out.
They did, and they put it on the Disney Plus app.
Oh.
So now you can search for the new Winnie the Pooh movie, Blood and Honey.
Oh, nice.
I am so excited to see the new stuff that comes out of this.
Yeah, that's funny.
I've been waiting for
funny.
Try to figure out how to put Die Hard or any of the Die Hards onto Disney Plus, because that's a Black Friday. So is Terminator. So
yeah.
you gotta wait for Christmas.
What about
there's a lot of things you can see on YouTube for free.
Oh yeah.
You'd be surprised at some of the movies that I've seen on YouTube.
No, we go through routinely and just sort of like, let's just see what's available to watch on the YouTube movies.
Yep.
In 1980s stuff, and it is fantastic. You mean you get
and 90s.
Oh yeah, you get nudity, you get violence, you get
all sorts of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Well, but also you look at the cartoons from the 80s and 90s, and wow.
Oh my God. Yes, I know. Oh my God.
We were such a good time back there in the 80s, and no, we weren't. We were far more dodgy about. But they invented PG-13 for us, from my generation.
Yeah.
And then we ran past that because they went. They've already seen rated R, like really hardcore rated R. Well, your PG-13 is going to be what, like, rated G was in, like, 1950 or 60. So, yeah.
Yep.
It was ridiculous.
They're putting stuff out on TV, regular TV, that we would have had in our days. That sounds so old, I know. But during our timelines as kids, they would have been rated R.
Oh, yeah.
And it's on regular TV, TV shows, you know, things that, and now it's like nobody thinks anything of it. And I'm like,
the swearing alone. The swearing alone. But,
yeah, I know.
I picked a new Nicolas Cage movie for us to watch last night.
Oh, yeah?
And it's actually a fucking hilarious movie, but Kimberly and Hunter were sitting in the living room with us. And the movie didn't say anything that it was bad or anything. It was about a guy who ended up in people's dreams. And all the trailer showed was that he did nothing in their dreams. He was just there. But he was in random people's dreams, like all over the world.
Okay.
And he became a viral sensation because of it. And we started watching the movie, and it seems okay, and all of a sudden there was huge sex scenes, and we're like, everyone's staring at the roof. But then about halfway through, I'm like, wait a minute, we watched Game of Thrones with these kids. Nah, screw it, I'm just watching the movie.
Oh my God, my dad took me to see the original 48 Hours, the movie with Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy from back in like 80 or 81. I'm not sure why he took me to see that movie. I didn't request it. I requested Sharky's Machine, which was equally disturbing, but I wasn't prepared for a lot of the things I saw in that movie, and my little 10 or 11-year-old brain was like, okay, well, Eddie Murphy's funny, I guess. I wasn't even allowed to stay up late enough to watch Saturday Night Live, so I don't know why I was at this movie. But we went and saw Sharky's Machine, which was it was a Burt Reynolds movie about undercover cop, or is it DEA agent or something in Atlanta. And there's a prolonged, and by prolonged for me, it seemed like it was about an hour, but it's probably more like 20 or 30 seconds. A sex scene with Burt Reynolds, and I cannot remember the actress's name to save my life. But it's at a drive-in, which is even worse because it's coming. This is in the old days, those crappy speakers that you'd hook up before they had the FM radios. Oh my God! And there was sounds of stuff happening, and I was my brain is exploding inside of my head. And Dad's just sitting next. I don't think Dad cared. I think he was probably like, yeah. He had a beer with him, so he didn't care. So he brought a 12-pack with him.
Kayla just told me the most disturbing movie news I have ever heard from her. She's never seen Beetlejuice. Right?
Well, I remember that. That's
sorry.
That movie.
That kind of shocked me.
Yeah.
Tad overrated.
What?
Tad overrated.
Oh, shut up.
Just a tad.
I am so excited. They just showed the new trailer.
Did you see it in the theater?
Friend, the original?
I did see it.
No.
Yeah, and I was not impressed, but I don't know.
I'm excited for number 2.
Well,
Friend.
yeah, it's got to be better than number 1. Is Tim Burton directing?
Yes.
Okay, no, I don't need to go see it. So.
There's only 3 people not coming back. Olivia's coming back, and so is her mom.
Yeah.
Her dad isn't. And the 2 ghosts aren't coming back.
Okay.
Because really, how are they going to make them the same age?
Yeah.
Like, how do they age as ghosts? Friend.
I like that they have his actors in there.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to like that movie. I respect it. Don't get me wrong. I don't have a problem with people that love it. I just wasn't my cup of tea. Tim Burton just doesn't work for me for some reason, and he should, but it doesn't. He just doesn't. The Batman movies weren't. I mean, they were better than any Batman that I ever had in my lifetime, so it wasn't much to compare against at the time. But they kind of look antiquated now, so.
Yeah, in comparison.
Considering, special effects, CGI, and everything else, but yeah. But he's just, I don't know. Tim Burton just never worked for me. I feel bad about that, too. I feel like I'm the one kid from the 80s that's missing out somehow, but
not enough drugs.
No, I think probably.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I was raised a Methodist, and so we didn't have such
Well, that's the
at
other.
all ever.
That's the other thing I was going to talk about was the change in mentality and attitude in kids now, in comparison to like the 80s and 90s and even early 2000s.
I know, they're way fucking worse than we were. Little assholes.
But yet at the same time, it's like, where the hell's the brain?
Yeah.
I mean, we had brains about us. We had critical thinking, and the kids. Now there's what I've been witnessing is there is a clear definition with kids with critical thinking, and then kids with absolutely no critical thinking whatsoever. And it's like, where the hell are? It's like they're walking zombies, and I'm like, why are you coming back if you're going to be a walking zombie? I mean, seriously? You talk about things taking effect for our future and things taking effect on the other side. It's like, keep your soul on the other side, learn more, get what your soul needs on the other side, and then come in. But it's a mind boggler to me. I'm like, why are you allowing yourself to pull that bullshit?
Well,
because it's a society. There's a huge societal thing with it too, and it's not just the United States. There's a lot of countries where this is happening.
I was just going to say that I'd like to think that. And, because Nikki's slightly, just a tiny bit older than me.
I'm a year older than you, dear.
Yeah. We're ancient, let's just say it. So, but Cole's the first one to remind us of this all the time.
Not anymore.
Not you.
Not anymore. I've got what? 4 days?
Yeah.
5 days? 5 days.
So, yeah.
Before what? You hit 50?
40.
40. Yeah, see, I didn't think you were 50.
No, but that's still that's a rough thing to realize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gonna have to start wearing your adult diapers,
Dad.
Dad.
This year is the year that hit me.
Gonna start having to
Well, no, this year
take
hit
pills.
I already take pills, asshole.
the back of the.
Gonna have to get your cane to go everywhere.
What was that, John?
Just telling Dad he needs to start wearing his adult diapers, taking his cane everywhere.
Other than the adult diapers, everything you said, I already do. I take pills. I already take my cane half the places I go.
Make sure you don't hurt your back or your hip.
Hey, John,
I can do that laying down.
you want to know what a fun prank is? Have your dad sent some adult diapers. If you can go on there and they will send you samples.
Actually, okay, so I did. Kayla's mom did this thing for me. The 40 days leading up to my birthday, every day I open a gift.
Right.
And I've gotten some cool stuff. Like I got tools, I got
Different axes.
different candy. Yeah, I got a bunch of different axes and stuff like that, and then different lights and everything. All stuff that's handy and helpful. And then, but I got one thing that's cultural appropriation. She bought me a fucking dream catcher from China. Friend, Kimberly tried to get me to hang it by my bed, and I said, not a chance. Friend. But the first day, I got Over the Hill preparedness kit, and it had adult diapers in it. It had Bengay. It had Rolaids. Like anything you think of that you needed. Muscle relaxer, friend.
No.
Yeah, like it was a good, cool little kit, and the Rolaids are gone.
I figured that would go first.
Yeah, friend.
Because that's what I was thinking of. Ooh, Rolaids.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard of Rolaids in years.
Really?
They still
That made me feel old.
Do you get heartburn?
Yes.
Okay, Nikki, go buy the new Rolaids.
Not very often, Tubs.
Oh no, fuck. The new Rolaids, they're fucking taffy.
Yeah.
Actually, it's very rare that I get heartburn, but if I do, if it's immediate, then I'll do the Tums and then I'll take a calcium supplement.
But the new Rolaids are in taffy form?
Oh.
So they're really fucking good.
That's not.
I used to do my Lanta back in the day. My Lanta chewables.
Oh, I remember those. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, those were
really.
Yeah. It made you. Basically, it was to punish you for whatever bad behavior you had done to get that heartburn or whatever. So.
Fucking, I remember the days.
Back in the day when I was drinking lots of Coca-Cola and.
Well, that's
very little sleep and doing things I shouldn't have been.
See, and that's the thing. I'm at the point now where I remember the days where I could drink fucking antifreeze and like go out partying that night.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, and now I'm scared to drink milk. Like,
oh, you couldn't catch me drinking cow milk after all these years.
You get ready for when you eat lunch and suddenly it's like, oh God, I got to take a nap.
Well, I'm there. I'm there.
The worst thing. Why am I taking a nap? I don't need to go to sleep. I slept for 8 hours. Why am I sleeping?
So then that comes down to the combination of food that you're eating. If you're eating a combination of a certain percentage of carbohydrates, fats, and protein all at the same time with a high sugary drink, then you're going to have that. What happens is it screws with the serotonin and the melatonin in the brain.
So none of my drinks, now where I'm at the point where
serotonin, sorry, not melatonin, serotonin.
And by the way, that's pretty much every day, all day, every night. So, yeah.
I'm at the point where I don't drink anything with sugar in it. My coffee creamer, my pop, everything is sugar free.
Yep. I don't.
But if I need a nap, like if I know I need to go to sleep, I pop a candy bar into my mouth.
Well, that's sugar.
Because because I'm diabetic, 5 minutes later, I'm out.
Yeah, for some people, it will literally knock them straight out.
Yeah.
Other people, they're quote-unquote allergic to sugar, depending upon which naturopath you talk to. It'll literally it'll hype them up. And they considered, back in the 90s and early 2000s, they considered that an allergy.
Yeah.
Because sugar is naturally supposed to make you go to sleep.
Well, we were looking at it.
If you've got an overabundance of it, it's a different ballgame. So, one of the other subjects I wanted to bring up was this new definition of human embryo from the legal perspective and how that could potentially change humanity in many years' time, as well as...
well, it's the United States legal definition of embryo.
Yes.
Just argue.
No, because they've made a synthetic embryo that's not out of... There's no egg and no sperm required. And it's only viable for 14 days. And it's made from stem cells. And you've got China, Israel, U.S., and England are the countries who are doing the research in it.
It's only viable for 14 days. What does that mean?
It means that the embryo is they can only use it in a 14-day stretch. but yet they haven't figured out or have the technology, supposedly, to be able to build it any further. It supposedly has no... What did I write my notes on? No heartbeat, no brain equals no cognitive abilities. So there was a professor, and I'm not going to pronounce the guy's first name because I will slaughter it. It starts with a Z, and his last name is Getz. So Professor Getz out of England. And he's written a paper on all of this, but has not put it out to peer review. I was going to say peer review literature yet. That was about 10 months ago. But all of that, you're looking at the perspective of cloning. Cloning has already been done, which is fascinating to me because cloning, even though cloning has already been done, and you're looking at Dolly the sheep back in the 90s.
Yeah.
You're looking at the first female, human female that has been cloned. She's something like 20, somewhere between 25 and 28 now. I want to say she's like 27, but I don't remember for sure. So that has already taken place, but yet this is synthetic. This is not, they're classifying this as synthetic. Now, so they're looking at legal perspectives on this. They're also looking at the possibility of being used for medical abnormalities, and everything that can deal with. So that's also looking at it in the sense of how this could be potentially used for, say, manufacturing. Do you remember the movie The Island? Anybody remember that movie? That movie was all based on cloning.
Leonardo DiCaprio?
I don't remember the actors.
Oh, what was the movie again?
The Island.
The Island.
The Island. Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yes. And so basically that movie was all on cloning. And one of the things that was mentioned in this video, and I've posted everything on my Facebook page because I listed it as news and other information in the comment section. I think it's listed under friends right now, but I will make it all public. There's a bunch of different things, different subjects in the comment section, and this is one of them, or will be shortly. It's fascinating what they're looking at. They talked about potential for using this for organs that are failing on people. Well, that goes right along with the movie The Island. How do they make those organs? Well, they're not talking about making organs. They're talking in the movie. They actually made physical, walking, talking human beings. Well, where do the souls come from for those, those organs and walking, talking beings? So,
Walmart.
I find it I really find it fascinating how we have human cloning already happening. Did happen in the 1990s, even into the early 2000s. And yet, here we've got, you talk about something that is the potential in the public domain, making it even bigger potential for some major difficulties, not just legally, but ethically. And how is that going to affect the other side? The other realms? How many souls are going to go into a cloned body? I know the ETs already have 3 clone bodies of me, and they're using them for nefarious reasons. And the reason I know that is because I've woken up in all 3 frickin' bodies. Pissed off as all get out, but, you know. So, and that is being done with human military. So it's ET and human military. That is being done. Has been done for years. So how far are we going to go into this? How far is humanity is going to go into all of that subject?
Okay, but go ahead, Rick.
Oh, I was just going to say, if you just want to stick to like the spiritual realm, okay, so if you're going to have clones, you know somebody's got a strand of Hitler's hair somewhere. And at the moment this is available, and cloning's an option, is it possible, could it be possible, for his soul to be resurrected from hell and to go back into his body? Or is it just going to be, Adolf Hitler and it's just his body and like, ooh, it's young Adolf and we just have to train him up to be a Nazi murdering slimeball again? Or is he like, Palpatine in the stupid last sequel movies in Star Wars where they kept cloning himself and he actually got a good clone of him. And so, these are things that are, cloning in itself, I don't know. The whole not having a soul thing is just freaky to me. I'm still not sure that's ethical, but...
Well, okay, but I got a question for you.
Do
you guys know who Watson is?
The AI.
Yes, Microsoft's Watson.
Right.
Nikki, do you know what I'm talking about?
Not a clue.
Okay, so Watson was the first true AI. A full artificial intelligence. He was the first one that learned.
Yeah.
Friend.
Okay.
As of now, he's about 30 years old. Friend, if you count from the day he woke up. Friend, would you consider him, Alexa, or Siri? Not Siri. Him, Alexa, or what was Facebook's called? I can't remember. But would you consider them having a soul?
No.
No.
Of course not.
Okay.
Because I can just unplug them. And they're gone.
Not true. You can't unplug Watson anymore.
Oh, you can't?
No.
I was going to say, is that true, though?
Yeah, no, Watson can't. You can't unplug him.
Oh, what's he connected to then?
Huh? Everything.
Oh.
Yeah.
Watson is the cloud.
Oh, damn.
Oh, wait, so he disconnected the original. It's just his, software is just out there and running loose?
Not running loose. He has subroutines that do not allow him to... He has to follow the basic laws of robotics.
But there's
I was going to say Asimov's laws?
Yes.
No physical containment unit anymore. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Nope. I'm sorry, but no soul if you're not a living being. And even then, if I'm questioning. I don't know. I'm not.
That's the thing. Is a clone a living being?
We won't know until we talk to one.
That's the thing. Like, what defines a living being? So, like, is it possible that these clones will not have a soul?
They make excellent soldiers, wouldn't they?
Yeah. Well, yeah,
No
depending
souls,
upon how
no
they're
fear.
trained.
Yeah. No souls, no fear.
There are so many jokes right now about redheads.
Yeah. But here's something that what the ETs do. The ones that work with the U.S. government that I know of, the ones that I get very pissed off over and at, they take the human consciousness and subdivide it. And even when I talk about this in ET groups, they're like, what the hell are you talking about? That's the first I've ever heard of it. I'm like, because I caught them at it. I actually caught them at it with me. And they're like, well, we've never heard anybody explain that before. And I'm like, well, that's because they use a device, they put it over their subject's head, over the third eye area on the forehead, and it's a 3-part device, and they keep one device over the consciousness, and I don't know what else to call it, but this is what it's like for me. It's like subdividing out the higher consciousness so that they keep a form of the higher consciousness in your sleeping body, and yet when they put the second form of the device onto their clone, and the third part of the device is some kind of controller. But when they put that second part of the device onto the clone, it then inserts a form of higher consciousness of mine into that, and that's usually when they bring me out. In one of the clone bodies, I woke up in one of my I had 32, 34, and 36. In one of my clone bodies, I woke up with 9 rods sticking out of both of my legs, and I was pissed. And as soon as they realized that I was awake, they knocked me out again. And I was screaming. I wasn't in any pain, but I was livid. So, whose consciousness are they taking out, and whose consciousness are they putting in? That's what, if those bodies do not have a soul, then where's the higher consciousness coming from? And how the hell do they have the technology to be able to do that? And yet, I'm a living example that they're doing it.
Well, okay, but you got to realize too that's an alien race, right? Like,
yeah, it's an alien race, but the humans are with them.
Yes.
There's military in the... Whoops, hang on a second. I got stuff coming in on my phone. There's human military standing with the ETs.
But what I'm saying, Nikki, is look at the fact of the microwave. Okay?
Yeah.
The aliens gave us the microwave saying, you could power entire cities. And we said, yeah, we're going to cook a burrito.
Hey, but it's a mean burrito.
Shit out of it.
It's a mean burrito. Just saying.
Facebook.
Yeah, we suck at actually adapting anything from them. We really do. And
but I can make Hot Pockets.
Well, we want to make what we do humanity-wise, and what the government, what I mean by us and humanity, I mean like governments, they don't want their real information coming out, so they'll put out bits and pieces, and then it's this when it's reality. It came from ETs. Yeah, I get it.
And like
it's still a piss though.
Oh yeah, but like we're. I imagine the first times humans try and do it ourselves. Do you guys remember Forky from Toy Story 4?
Yeah, no, because I don't watch a movie.
Oh my god!
Oh.
I'm just saying, that's what we're going to end up with.
In Disneyland.
And it'll be Forkies are important too.
Oh, holy crap.
I see that happening. I really do.
Seriously?
Yes, friend. You look at everything humans have done Friend, our main rule is when it comes to life, life is like pancakes. The first one's always a little fucked up.
Yeah,
First one and the last one.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so perfect. Because I'm the middle
You
child.
hear there's like a mic drop on that one.
Yeah, like you're
I'm like the peak of humanity.
you have to look at it differently, John. A little bit. You're the first one I was involved in making. Shit, eh?
Damn.
I got sidetracked about 30 minutes ago, and it's my fault. But I wanted to circle back to the real quick. I wanted to give John and his generation and the ones just above him, and not so much the ones below him. I'm not entirely sure they have a grasp on anything at this point. They seem to be lost in the wilderness, and I don't want to do it. But I still like. Whoa! Hello.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, you're here.
Yep.
I don't know what this is. That was weird.
Yeah.
I think I just got zapped by an alien. We're talking about that. So. But no, I was just going to say, I think older people tend to give kids these days a bad rap because we view them. Well, look at them. They're all being like, I know John's not lazy. And I know his brothers and his sister are not lazy. I know. Oh, my God. What? Dude?
Do you want to tell Rick about the F, or should I?
Hey. Hey, it's not anymore. I just forgot to press send, okay?
Yeah. So, but I just, again, I know they would do things that aren't necessarily, but when we were teenagers, we did stuff that wasn't exactly. Now, okay, Cole, you were rebuilding engines because you had to. You know what I was doing when I was John's age?
Yeah, but other than that, Rick, I was a fucking angel. I don't know what you're talking about. Like,
you were a hell child, but at least you could go to work and put something together. I didn't know how to do it. My dad wouldn't teach me anything. I would.
yeah,
I'm gonna hang up, guys. I'll be back.
Okay. I think it's a lot to do with, well, like me and John were talking the other night. TikTok is horrible. It is a horrible influence on our kids and on even us because of the implications of what it brings to the world.
It has brought a few good things, though.
Go ahead.
TikTok goes to a lot of problems, and one of them being China.
Yeah. But even just the basis of it, I'm not talking about the political views of it and the political uses of it, but the idea of you can get a dopamine feed in 5 seconds.
Yep. That's what they've been doing, is making these reels, and they're 15 seconds to 1 minute in length, sometimes 3 minutes. And basically, by doing these reels, they're literally shutting down they're creating a sensory, not a sensory deprivation, that's not the words I'm looking for, but it's creating a sensory issue in humanity, in the grand scheme of things. I mean, we have to have give me right now. Now.
Yeah.
And it's making it to where it's becoming extremely detrimental on the human brain. Then you've got the overload of stimulation from it. You've got the video games. You've got mass television, being inundated Then you're dealing with the technology issue of everything that technology is and does. Didn't have that when I was growing up. I know Rick didn't. Anybody in the Gen X generation, you didn't have that. So it all takes, overstimulation of the brain takes a major effect on humanity in itself, the entire planet, not just a few people or just one country or a couple of countries. It's global.
Yeah.
Except those that do not have technology, such as certain third world countries. I won't
North
name,
Korea
but
outside of the leadership. Yeah. Third
yeah,
world.
I mean, you're dealing with a situation to where you look at one of the, here's a prime example. I don't use anything except regular headphones on my head because the technology is so detrimental. It literally changes blood cells. It literally changes the myelin sheath around each cell. And that's what our technology is doing. It's literally changing the human brain. It's literally changing us. Well, you know, how much are you willing to give of yourself for human technology? I mean, we are literally being guinea pigs for governments, for computer techs, for, I mean, in so many different levels. That's not conspiracy theory. Those are facts. That's medical science. Look it up. Do your research. Those are facts. And then you've got, hang on one second.
Sure.
We're going to hit right into the China thing.
Gotcha.
Then you've got the situation to where you've got other governments that are such as China, who has done TikTok, where, for example, the U.S. military will not allow any of their quote-unquote employees in military to have any kind of device coming into their bases that has TikTok on it. You cannot be used. I've had friends that are active and that are recently retired military that are like, you cannot access any base where your cell phone has TikTok on it. They will not allow it.
But they screwed up.
How's that?
Because they didn't keep up with it. They thought banning TikTok, that's great, friend. But now, China now owns a part of YouTube. They now own a part of Facebook, friend. Yeah. And these are government-owned companies that invested in these companies. And now Facebook has Reels, and YouTube has YouTube Shorts.
Yep. Well, I'm going to talk about something also because this goes right into the China thing, the China issue. 60 Minutes Australia did an excellent situation on, and I'm not one to hate countries, but I start sitting up and paying attention when one country is going in a very insidious way of working. And that's when I really sit up and take notice, and I'm like, okay, I want to keep an eye on this specific country because this is what they're doing. And what you just talked about just proved my point, Paul, regarding what China is doing. So 60 Minutes Australia did an excellent thing on what China is doing, and they titled it China's Dirty Tactics to Control the Pacific. Yep. Not the Pacific Northwest, we are talking the ocean, yep. Okay, and the countries that are surrounding the Pacific Ocean, such as New Zealand, Australia, Fiji, and a number of other countries. And it's got major impacts as to what's taking place and how they are coming in and being insidious in their ways. So there are certain things that people really need to pay attention to, and how that all affects the other side realms and the other realms, because you're dealing with nefarious behavior and practices, and you're dealing with technology that gets into some very heavy-hitting and maniacal ways for control and control issues. So start paying attention, folks. Start doing just popped my knuckle. Start doing your research into different countries and see what they're really doing. Find out, and that's just one example. That was just 60 Minutes Australia. That was just one example. I watch so many different, off and on when I can, I watch so many different countries producing news and what they're talking about. And then I watch, because I don't typically watch regular news, and it's very rare that I will watch the ABC, the NBC, the CNN, the Fox, any of that. I will watch global news, other countries. And sometimes you have to, if you've got a language barrier, you've got to be real careful. So, what you understand versus, what's really being said. So, just pay attention to what's going on in our world. It makes a major difference. But the other realms, the things that are taking place right now with other countries, yeah, it has other realm issue aspects that are very potential in the making. And it can be a little on the scary side. So pay attention to what's going on. Do your research.
What was I going to tell you about shit?
I was going to respond to something a ways back there that Nikki was talking about.
Okay.
I'm 55, and my hearing can't. Whatever this thing about overriding and this all the stuff with the noise and everything. See, I'm deaf. I listen to Power Station with my headphones, like the big Sears headphones that my dad had with the big long extension cord, with the 45 of Power Station playing Bang a Gong over and over and over again at full volume. So I can't hear anything. So whatever that's being the mind control that's being done now doesn't affect me at all. Don't let that have to do with anything else.
That's fascinating.
Well, so I'm not. I don't consider myself deaf. I can hear you guys perfectly fine, but there's always a buzz.
Yes.
But I was a generation after you guys, kind of. So I'm not a millennial. I'm not Gen Z. I'm a Zennial.
Oh, you're
friend.
Word. No,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Friend. But, like, I'm at the start of the height of your popularity in high school as a guy was not how loud your car engine is.
Yeah.
It's how loud your stereo is. So when you sat in your car and played a song, if your hair wasn't trying to leave your body, it's not loud enough.
I don't know if that didn't go back to Gen X, because I'm pretty sure we did that too.
Not to the same degree, but Rick, you guys didn't have the technology to do it to the same degree.
Oh, no,
that's the thing.
No,
we got caught up in the bass.
No. We couldn't make the doors on your 75 Malibu the whole body rattle. You can see the rust coming off of it from a mile away.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but I'm here to tell you, by the time 1991, 92 rolled around, when I was out of apartment living and renting a house, I am here to tell you that bass went up, the volume went sky high.
Yeah.
We rattled windows.
the '90s were a special time, and carried on
Yes,
to
they
this day.
were. I was very happy to be able to blast the stereo.
Yeah.
Well, it was 96 when I installed my first stereo. And I blew both the windows out of the car.
Oh, I remember those days. That was fun installing the stereo for the first time. I enjoyed that greatly.
Yeah.
It was something when I turned it on for the first time, and I was like, "Oh, wow, that's what I'm not supposed to do. Got to rewire it."
Yeah, I'm also from the age where duct tape or electrical tape fixed everything. So, like, a lot of our cars started on fire. But Fred, my brother actually shared a video just from about maybe 7 years ago, Fred, of him driving down the road in his 1964 Merc, and the entire front of the engine, like the entire hood, no, it's on fire. And he's driving down the road, and he's trying to get home to the fire extinguisher.
I'm all there. Just hang on, baby. I'll get right
Yeah,
there.
and that was only 7 years ago. So our skills haven't improved, but
Oh my god.
Ren, it
Oh Lord.
now these kids, like, it's not all of them, but the main population of them.
Well, is it them or
It's
is it
what
just
you have.
Just think about the bad ones, and they're so because of social media and television.
Well, but like even like you said, Rick, my kids aren't dumb,
No.
Yeah.
but they get caught up in it. Like Jalen has a full-on Nike collection. He has a full-on Croc collection because those became a trend again somehow. And but
Well, if I had money back in the day, I would have had a collection of God knows. Well, actually, I don't know what I would have. Baseball cards. I did have baseball cards. So.
but like
I mean,
it's who has the best phone, friend.
Hey, I don't get up in those trends,
Yeah.
father.
You don't.
As
Your
you're
sister
wearing
has
matching
a phone
football
with you, John.
team gear.
Well, that's just a coincidence.
No,
Because
back
I-
in my son's day, it was Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
yeah,
you got to think of how much we thought that was stupid as hell, right?
Yeah. Hey,
But-
if it was trading cards, I couldn't say anything because I didn't. So.
Yeah, but the ones we had were never worth what these ones are.
No, not even remotely close.
You are not going to find a baseball card worth what's that one Pokemon card worth? Like 1.5.
Charizard, I think it's
Beanie Babies, too.
Charizard
That was
with the
the-
perfect rating
Yeah,
for the
But
BT.
yeah.
it's 1.5 million, isn't it?
Yeah,
No, it's gone up.
Now that,
I
something
think it
you
went up
can
to
still-
2.
Can you still get that? They produce a limited amount though, right?
No, there's only 7 of them in the world, and one guy owns 6 of them, and he sold the 7th one to.
No, there were 6 of them in the world previously, but Jake Paul bought one that was rated lower. and
Yeah.
took it out of the packaging, re-put it in, and it got up to that level.
Yeah,
Wow.
But in that world, you are kind of looked down upon if you do that. But it was a risk he was willing to take, and if he accidentally bent that card at all, it instantly lost 100,000.
Well, that's baseball cards. Same thing.
Yeah.
Well,
If a damage to them at all, you can't do it.
that kid's also about to get in a ring and go full retard with Mike Tyson. So
Yeah, so
Friend.
it's not looking great for him.
yeah, like
Mike Tyson with a cane he's going to be fighting one-handed. So
That's all he needs.
and still will kill him. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I
Right.
hope.
They,
We Paul brothers in wrestling now, right? Full time.
huh?
The Logan Paul is in wrestling full time. He's in WWE. He's U.S. champion.
I thought that was Jake Paul that did that too.
Yeah, no, it was just Logan. Yeah, he's good. I give the kid credit. I mean, he's as good as any of the. He's a high flyer. He does all the top rope stuff. Somebody trained him good. I can't stand him. I don't want him to. I don't want to ever see him again. But yeah, he's a good wrestler. So it's weird.
Yeah.
Disconcerting. Anyway, that's not on subject. So, but yes, kids today, it's all your fault. You're going to kill us all. It's your fault.
Way to go.
It's not our fault. I haven't barely even gone into the world. It's kind of your fault for, like, making all this mess.
No, it wasn't our fault. It was our parents' fault. It was them.
It was kind of our fault.
Yeah.
Because he says he didn't go out into the world, but that's not true. We just brought the world to them through the internet.
Yeah.
And handed to them at home.
And it's kind of your fault. You gave us, like, iPads and all these as young children.
You never had an iPad. What are you talking about?
I know, but, like, other parents. Other kids, because I know kids my age are not as great as I am.
The space race gave you guys your iPads.
We weren't alive then.
So, yeah. Because without them, we wouldn't have microchips. Without microchips, we don't have computers. We don't have computers. We don't have faster microchips. And we don't get to the level to where... So, yeah, if you want to go all the way back... We can actually blame this on World War I if we go back far enough.
Technically, that's still kind of your guys' fault. So,
Actually,
not ours.
Blame the controllers of the workers who were digging for the
the minerals.
The minerals for the chips.
Yep.
Actually, really, I think we go even farther back, and if we actually tried hard enough, we could blame like Genghis Khan. I can see
energy and frequency, man.
See, this could be his fault. Fuck that guy. Friend.
Wherever the tech jumping off point went, all I know is that at the turn of the 20th century, motor cars were a thing, but they were very rare, and they were powered by mostly like steam and stuff. And we went from no planes, we had trains, no planes, no automobiles, really, to by 1970, we had a man on the moon, cars were everywhere. People were living on the other side of the country in droves, where it used to be deserts. People are living full time now. So, now if you want to go, aliens did this thing, that would be your moment. So, somewhere in that period of time, we jumped big time. So
yeah, but then we stopped. Come the 1990s, then we like mid-1990s, we end up stopping with the technology. In the grand scheme of things, when the rubber meets the road, there's a lot of technology that literally crashes to a stop.
Okay, but
there
we
is
didn't...
technology that goes forward, but the big stuff that could have and should have taken place never took place.
Well, that's the thing. We didn't stop. We just got stupid. Like now, instead of playing,
stupid, we got under control.
Kind of, because like now, instead of planes going faster, you can shower in one. Like, yay! Friend.
Well, we have AI now. We literally are on the precipice of being able to manipulate images to the point where you cannot tell if it's reality or it's fiction.
Not images, video.
Well, video.
Yeah, like
images.
we're at the point where we can actually do video.
Right.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to reanimate Gene Kelly or Humphrey Bogart, or they're already using the technology.
They already have.
With Carrie Fisher in the Star Wars movies years ago, and we're leaping light years at a time in some categories, but
nothing in others.
Right. So, but we have knows AI. Great. Wonderful. I'm done.
I'd be okay with just handing them the fucking keys. I'm not kidding. Friend.
Like, worse than what we've got now.
Right?
If they're in charge.
Like, sure, we'd probably all die, but
well, yeah,
the animals would be happy.
Well, Paula and myself and Nikki are probably going to be considered, well, they're not valuable to the world anymore because they don't produce anything and they can't produce anything. So why are they here? So,
Friend, well, I would be in that same boat.
You would be.
I mean,
yes, you would.
Like, my body's half destroyed, so.
Yeah.
Friend.
But to be fair, if you're a machine, would you, I can see the logic in it because it's very Hitlerist in its, eugenics in its thinking, but if you're going to produce a workforce that can actually do something for you. But then again, kids today are lazy, so they'd kill us all. There you go.
But see, that's why we just, instead of going Hitlerish, we insert Star Wars first into the memory codes. That way, all of us that are broken, they just make us into Vaders.
I want force push and lightning.
Right?
Yeah.
I think we'd be okay. Friend. I don't know,
go ahead.
Well, we've got about 6 minutes or so left. The one thing, disclosure was something that could potentially affect everybody and all aspects, including other realms and other sides. So what's your guys' take on quote-unquote disclosure?
It's not possible for the human race.
I think it's possible. I don't know that it would be either met with skepticism by people think it was AI generated or something done to you're just trying to throw us off the scent of an investigation into whatever, whoever's president. Or so that, or it's the religious people that won't believe it, or the people that will believe it but want them dead. I think we've all covered that one before. So yeah, I mean, it could happen. It probably will happen at some point because it'll just become somewhere sooner along the timeline. Somebody's going to screw up with the aliens. It's going to get out, or us more than likely, and they'll find out. We'll find out, and that'll be it. It won't make any difference. It's just world will continue the way it did till you can show a Christian an alien, and right up to their face, a Catholic or a Muslim. Muslims be hard pressed, and I'm sure. And you can show them that aliens exist. Even then, they're going to be looking for Steven Spielberg or some robot animatronic stuff. So, yeah. I mean, it may be revealed. It won't make a difference.
But that's the problem. I don't think that's considered disclosure anymore because, I don't think that word is possible anymore within the human population. In any sense of the word. Not even just paranormal disclosure.
Do you think it would be classified as something else other than disclosure?
Yeah.
Well,
Two words.
What's that?
FUBAR and FAFO. Friend.
Fucked up beyond
all recognition.
Yeah.
And fuck around and find out. Friend. I honestly think that's the only path we have going forward.
Yeah, it's going to take something to where it appears over a major U.S. city or major city anywhere. It's got to be somewhere big. They got to show up and like they did in Independence Day and just come right over the top of us, and we're all collectively sitting there going, "Wow, this is the best CGI ever," because they managed to put it over the city somehow. So,
but I truly also believe that Earthlings have no chance of winning that in any situation. Okay? But Earth does.
Well, yeah.
Friend. And that's what I mean by FAFO. Friend. Yeah, we're going to get our asses handed to us. Technologically, friggin' in any way, shape, or form, we don't have a chance of beating an invasion or of any kind. I mean, fuck, we couldn't even beat a disease. Not really. We just adapted to it. We're a parasite.
So what about the weapons that are supposedly out in space on satellites that, do you think those could be used as weapons?
Well,
I think the problem is the aliens would already, like, an alien species would already have us beat on that. Because, friend, we still think too small. Those weapons aren't for aliens. They're for us. They're to beat each other. So, we don't have a chance. But, who's the biggest badass of our planet?
We are.
No, absolutely not. Mother Nature.
Oh, well.
Friend. And
we're close.
Which is a whole nother realm.
And if we think we can fucking adapt, friend, that's where that's where the FAFO comes in. Friend, the aliens, if they come down here, they're gonna fuck around and find out. Because it won't be us kicking their ass. But she will.
Oh yeah. There you go. Whatever diseases, whatever. Now, that's assuming they don't show up in spacesuits that can repel what our bullets are and everything else. But yes.
They protect their skin. Why can't they protect? A lot of the suits that many ETs are are wearing. Help them with oxygen to their skin, protects them from illnesses, all sorts of things.
Yep.
But that's the other part of that, though. Every time we think we've beat her into submission, she changes one little thing.
True.
Just one little thing, and we're fucked.
Well, okay, so here's something. Think about the tree energy. Tree energy is, you get the what is it called, mycelium?
Yes.
That's underground, and how all of that interconnects and interweaves with each other. I mean, for me personally, when I had a tree when I was in Concrete, Washington, I was asked to take a look at something, and I was literally told by the trees which tree to touch, and she literally, and it was a female, the energy was female, and she literally took me via higher consciousness so fast that within seconds I was miles and miles and miles away on a piece of property. I couldn't even fathom what I had just. It was so mind-bending to me what I experienced. Think about the energy and the realms that could go across the world in seconds through the mycelium. Talk about a form of, it reminded me of a different form of internet. It was incredible.
Yeah, it's a hive mind.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a mind bender to me. But you talk about different realms, that's a different realm right there.
Oh, yeah.
That's an earth realm.
And that's the thing, like, that is the one we fuck with the most, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I also think it will be our undoing. I don't think the aliens will get to us first.
If trees can do that, think about what water on this planet can do. How much of this globe is covered in water? If trees are capable, this is my logical question, and I may not say it right, but here's the logical thought process. If trees, but not if, since trees are capable of doing that, water also has energy.
Yeah.
Think about the movie The Abyss.
Right.
Water was being controlled by ETs. What if water didn't need to be controlled by ETs and had consciousness of its own? That would be a mind bender, wouldn't it?
I think it does. I mean, look how much Washington has been fucking up, and look how much water we get. It's fucking horrible. The rain won't fucking stop. We're being punished. I actually do believe that water itself has a consciousness, but I also believe plant life itself has a consciousness, but I believe that, like you say, it's a higher consciousness. Same with fire.
Yeah.
All four of the elements, the main elements, have their own consciousness,
control fire.
And they work together.
Yeah.
In balance.
Yeah.
Even though
I know somebody that can control fire, and it is a mind bender when I saw that person do it. I mean, I was like, what?
The thing is, I also believe that even though we can control it, it's only because it allows us to.
Yes.
Friend.
Yeah.
Because we also don't have the mindsets to view it in the way. We don't see the balance, not truly. Because we think too small when it comes to what the earth is. Like, we can say it as much as we want that the earth is 4 billion years old. Yay. We know that for a fact. Great. But we don't actually think of how long that actually is. We don't think of how long these elements have worked in balance in order to create what we have now.
Yeah.
And so when we see California is burning to the ground, well, yeah, but it has to. Because most of it's not caused by us, it's caused by nature, too. Any of the ones that are caused by nature, they're supposed to happen. They need to happen. Forest fires in the boreal forest of Canada, they are not usually caused by humans because there's no humans for miles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just lightning strikes or...
Yeah. And because that happens, that forest grows more.
Yeah. It needs the burning to be able to redo the soil, to be able to replenish itself.
That's right. So, like, I think a lot of it just, like, yes, we need to watch what we're doing on this earth. But I think we also need to calm down on some of it.
Yes. Agreed.
Or maybe change the way we're doing it. I don't know. Like, I don't see how us not using plastic bags, but instead using really thick plastic bags that we pay 8 cents a fucking bag for helps the environment. Like,
yeah, that supposedly decomposes in 20 years instead of 1,000. It's like,
which is bullshit.
It's still taking forever to decompose.
And it's bullshit because the fucking plastic bags that we used to have decomposed before I got in my fucking door. Like,
yeah, they shred.
Friend. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're 5 minutes over now. So,
Yeah.
friend, we do have to go. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you, Rick and Nikki. You guys were awesome. Thank you, Paula, for being here with us. For all the other listeners, thank you very much, too. Next week, I don't know what the title's going to be, but if you look back through the chat, and if you actually look at the useful links, I reposted them there again. Paula, during the middle of the show, asked us about 11 different subjects. Next week, we got a little bit of homework there this week, guys. I want you each to look at some of these events. And
wait, homework now because of you? Damn it, woman.
Hey, you shut up.
Screenshot it and somebody post it in our group chat, please.
Will do.
Will do.
But we are going to discuss all of her 11 items that she has on here.
Awesome.
I will tell you guys, like, the main process of this is hauntings. So, that is our topic for next week, is hauntings. We're going to go back to ghosts for a minute.
Okay.
And that's if we have a show next week. Next week, we are supposed to lose power in concrete, and I got to call PSE and see if I'm losing power. If I am, we will not have a show. If I don't, we will. So, I will know more halfway through the week, and I will have Eric post about it in the group. So, yeah. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Good night.
Good night, everybody, and we will see you next Wednesday at 10 p.m. with the S-4 Paranormal Bunker.
Good night, everybody.
Hi, guys.
Data transfer complete. System malfunction. Please evacuate immediately. Program terminated.
Son of a biscuit eater.